Hi, I'm here today at Mick's Gym talking to you a little bit about the mobility work that we do here. I'm going to start by telling you a story. In 2013, I was getting ready for a powerlifting meet. My shoulder had been hurting for quite a while. I would wake up in the middle of the night screaming and wondering who was screaming, and I realized it was me, just from the pain in my shoulder. I hadn't bench pressed in a year before the meet. I had only dumbbell bench pressed, lightweight, and I hadn't even done dumbbell bench pressing 3 months before the meet. So 2 weeks before the meet, I decided to try bench pressing the bar just to make sure I would be able to stay in the meet, because you have to at least lift the bar to get to stay in the meet, and you have to do something on every lift, squat, bench press, and deadlift. And so I did. I bench pressed the bar. It was excruciatingly painful, but I was able to do that. I had no ambitions for pressing any weight at the meet. Didn't think it was even possible. A friend of mine told me about a book that he had gotten, and I had ordered this book several weeks before, and it came, I think, the day or the day after I tried bench pressing the bar. And the book was Kelly Starrett's book, Becoming a Supple Leopard. I thought the name of the title was rather funny, but he spoke very well of the author of the book and of the book itself, and so I ordered it. And when it came in, I started going through it looking for possible solutions for this shoulder of mine, since it was in such bad shape. And I did. The book is broke down into many parts, but specifically it will break down body parts and mobility exercises you can do for each body part. So what I found was an exercise for the shoulder. And in reading about shoulder rotator smash and floss, he calls it, he was talking about the shoulder itself. When we stand, we have a tendency to stand elbows out. Well, if we're deadlifting, our hands are like that. If our bench press, our hands are like this. If our squatting, our hands are like this. So my natural tendency was to stand like this. And when I did this, he talked about this being your shoulder joint and this being your upper arm in that shoulder joint. It would separate out in the back. And so we had to reseat that, according to Dr. Kelly Starrett. So the exercise he gave for that was very simple, and I'm going to try and show this to you right now. We would take a simple ball, and I use a lacrosse ball here at the gym, and I would take this lacrosse ball, hold on a second here, and put it on the ground, and I'm going to put that right underneath my shoulder where my lat ties in to my upper arm bone, okay? And all I'm going to do is come and I'm going to rotate that back and forth. Let me come back here a little bit so you can see better. So all I'm going to do is rotate that arm back and forth. I can do that fairly easily now. At the time, my range of motion was this. That's all I could do. Over time, I was able to work that. Now, here's where the story gets really interesting. So 2 weeks before the meet, I couldn't even do the bar, or I did the bar. That's all I could do, and it was extremely painful. When I got to the meet that day, I benched a legal 275, and I went up to 295. I got the lift. My butt came off the bench, so it didn't count, but I did get the lift. Now, I went from doing a 45-pound bar to a 295-pound bench press, not having benched for a year, okay, and had this shoulder injury for a year. In 2 weeks, I was able to do that following the exercises and becoming a supple leopard. That, to me, speaks volumes. So since then, I've used this on many clients who have had similar problems, and I've used that book to help a lot of my clients regain the mobility. We also use a subscription service from Kelly Starrett for a daily workout of the day, a mobility WOD, in which we go through whatever exercises for the day. And we might not be having problems with the exercises for the day, but what we're learning here is how to heal ourselves, or how to keep ourselves healthy and how to keep those tissues pliable. A lot of times, like in the forearms right here, we'll feel in there, and you can, like mine right there, it feels like there's a cable right there. Well, that shouldn't be. That muscle should be very supple and very loose, kind of like that one is there, but that one right in there is a cable. And we run into this all through our body. And what really sold me on the value of this to everybody was I had a 21-year-old girl who was not athletic, had never played any sports, never lifted any weights, and she was complaining of her heel clicking or her ankle clicking, and it sounded to me like a tendon ligament was snapping over a bone or something in there. And I'm not a doctor and I can't explain that to you, but I figured there was probably a muscle too tight pulling on that tendon or ligament and causing the problem. So I sat her down, I had her relax her leg, and I pushed on the muscle in her shin, and she about went through the roof. And so we started doing mobility work with that, and 3 days later there's no more snap. She also had problems up here in her neck, and we did mobility work with that too, and she was better. This doesn't take the place of good chiropractic or good orthopedic help that we need, we can get. In fact, most of my clients, I recommend they go see chiropractors. I recommend they go see an orthopedic when they need to. What this is just general maintenance. We're trying to maintain our bodies the best that we can so we can limit the amount of help that we need from chiropractors and orthopeds, or work with them on that, which is even better, helping to heal ourselves. If you've ever been to a chiropractor or an orthopod, then you know that they're going to give you homework to do. They give you this little sheet with all these exercises to do, take it home, you do it. This is just part of that. It's just part of doing our part of staying mobile, staying healthy, keeping our muscles pliable and structurally sound. So I showed you the book, and I'm going to show you some of the tools that we have here. These look kind of torturous at best. This wheel here has spikes on it. It hurts, but I tell you what, it really loosens up the tissue. This wheel does a really good job. We use foam rollers as well. These are a step up. This is a step up from a foam roller, and this one here is a step up from this one. You can also use this bar here and do some work yourself. A large mobility ball for different places has more surface area, so it's not as intense on the area that you're working on. This is called a Gemini. It's even more intense for the area that you're working on because it's pointed. And the smaller ball that I showed you when I was rolling my shoulder out. We also have what they call voodoo tape that you use to wrap a joint. It's all part of it, and I won't go into all that right now, but I want to talk about the benefits and how we use mobility work here at Mick's Gym. If you ever want to try it, or if you have some issues that you'd like us to take a look at, feel free to message me on Facebook, call me, text me, or just stop by and we'll set up an appointment for you to come in, and we'll sit down and we'll assess your problem and see if what we can do to help you. Not only with mobility work, but strength, strengthening the areas so we're structurally sound, so we can go and do what we want to do and whatever we want to do. Okay, that's our freedom. When we can't go and do the things that we want to do, our freedom is limited. And I'm all about people being free to go and do whatever they want to do in life. Talk to you next time. This is Mick here at Mick's Gym, signing out.